Talking the Burgh. I'm your host and resident ball knower, Caden Hyde. Joining me is our TV Supreme Leader, Jordan Warak, and 19-time winner of his mom's Goodest Boy Award, Nick Evans. How are we doing tonight, boys?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm not doing good. I mean, the Penguins are down 2-0. Philly is just giving them the business. No positives right now. Let's get this show rolling.
Yeah, but speaking like the Penguins, nobody expected them to be in the playoffs to start the season. However, shrewd trades and finding the fountain of youth brought them to a 98-point powerhouse, with home ice in the first round. However, after the first two games, the Penguins sit down 0-2 versus the Flyers, with puck drop back in Philly for Game 3 happening in less than 2 hours. What can the Penguins do to claw their way back into the series? Jordan, we'll start with you.
You know, I think it all comes down to is just hitting their shots. You know, there's a lot of missed opportunities that the Penguins have not converted on in this series. They have 48 missed or blocked shots, and their power play, which was great in the regular season, has been absolutely terrible so far in this series. Their power play was 7th coming into this series, and they were converting on a 24.1% rate, but they so far are 0 for 7 on the power play with 3 shots on goal. So I think the big thing for this team is actually hitting their shots and getting better shots on goal and converting more on that power play.
Yeah, the basics of this team that they had all season that led them to the success that nobody thought they would have are now gone. This team is a complete shell of itself. They're going to shuffle up the lines tonight. We got Brezzo back in tonight instead of Soderblom. Some guys are on different lines, but as you just said, they got out-coached. They got completely smothered. The Flyers look like a team that wants to win. They are hungry. They look like they've heard all the critics who said that they don't belong there, and they have completely taken it to Pittsburgh. When coming into the playoffs, Philly needed a Pittsburgh collapse. They were not the talented team like Pittsburgh. They did not have the season like Pittsburgh, but now they are having a playoffs that Pittsburgh could dream of, and that very well might bump them into the second round to face Carolina or Ottawa. I don't see any heart in this Pittsburgh team. They come out and they're lazy. They come out and they are, like you said, they're not hitting the net. It's just not the offensive team that we have seen when it's the best offensive team that Crosby has had in his career. But then you get to the playoffs, and it looks like they've never even seen a puck before. Looks like the Wheeling Nailers are playing out there against an NHL team.
Not too much on the Wheeling Nailers. But I would say, like, it's very similar to like how you said, the team looks slow and old. Like this Philadelphia team, one thing about them, they got young guys. Michkov, Martone, they got speed, they have youth, and they're hungry.
Yep. Letang is a step behind every single play, and you can't have that from your defense.
Yeah, but now let's address the elephant in the room. The NFL draft begins in roughly 24 hours and a mere 16 miles away from our studio. All eyes will be on the Burgh for what the hometown Steelers do with their pick. Joey Dramasic asked some Yinzers for their opinion.
So who do you think the Steelers are going to draft with the 21st overall pick?
No, they're either going to get a guard or they're going to get the quarterback, Simpson.
Quarterback Simpson?
Yeah.
Smart. That'd be smart. What about you?
Yep, I think they're going to take the quarterback from Alabama. Yep.
Yeah.
I played line myself, so I'm always going to be a line guy first. I think we're always going to need someone up front. Our front five aren't very strong, but we got 1 or 2 we could use. So I think we kind of rearrange them, maybe pick another one up in the draft. That would really set us up nice.
All right, so with the Steelers, with the 21st overall pick this year, do you think they should draft a quarterback?
No.
No, why not?
Rodgers is going to come back. He's going to announce it on McAfee, and the old man's going to run it back, win a ring this year.
I'd like to see them draft a quarterback in the first round, but I don't think they're going to.
Honestly, I just think it's a bad year for quarterbacks.
Who do you think they should draft? Or what position?
Probably another wide receiver or a running back. I'd like to see them draft a quarterback, but the Steelers always disappoint.
Wow, I mean, hearing the words Ty Simpson and the Steelers, no thank you. No thank you. I want no part of Ty Simpson in Pittsburgh at all.
No, I hate when it gets to this time in draft season, and then you have these quarterbacks that should not go in these positions getting pushed up just because it is a quarterback week draft. This is a 1 quarterback draft, and it's Fernando Mendoza.
Whoa, it's not a 1 quarterback draft. Drew Aller.
Oh.
Pittsburgh in the 3rd round needs Drew Aller. He is the perfect project. Let's move back over to the 1st round, though.
Yeah.
Finish what you were saying, but I don't want any disrespect to my boy Drew Aller right
Anyway, like I was saying, this is a one-quarterback draft, and just because the Steelers do not have a quarterback right now does not mean that they should go out and waste another first-round pick like they did with Kenny Pickett. Yes, we all remember Pickett, and that was a setback for the Steelers for at least 3 seasons. So I do not think it is time to go in and reach for another quarterback.
Yeah. All right, Jordan. They have the pick 21st overall. If you don't think they should go with a quarterback, who do you have them taking?
I think they should go with a receiver, either one of Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon. It depends on which one is available. I prefer Lemon just because he's more of a slot guy, but this team still needs a receiver. Just because they went out and traded for Michael Pittman does not mean that they do not lack that still. This is a team that needs weapons. The offense is stale. The offense is boring. They need explosive young pieces to come in there and be useful for this team.
I don't believe that they need to hammer in a star player. I think they need to build around what is expected to be a team led by Aaron Rodgers. You don't want Aaron Rodgers to be being protected by guys like Spencer Anderson. They lost Isaac Seumalo in the draft. I think they should go after Vega Ione from Penn State. I don't think that he will. He might not be there when they pick. I know he's expected to go higher than that. But the Steelers need someone on the interior. They need to protect the quarterback. They need to have time for the quarterback. I don't think that adding another star receiver is going to all of a sudden protect the quarterback and be able to allow him to get the ball out later and stay in the pocket longer.
They can protect the quarterback all they want, but if they have no weapons that are getting open, what is going to happen?
They have DK Metcalf. They have DK Metcalf. They have Michael Pittman.
Not a weapon.
Darnell
DK
Washington.
Metcalf is not good. Who they didn't use.
Two-headed monster in the backfield.
Hey, calm down. It's all right. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We're moving on with his last appearance in person concluding last week. Casey Irwine has put his name in the rafters as the colloquial G-Stitbo. That is the greatest sports talker in the Burgh of all time. But he left us off with one final parting gift, his 2026 NFL first-round mock. Casey, for the final time, the floor is yours.
That's right, everyone. It's me, Casey Irwine, back from the dead to give my first-round NFL mock draft. It's all taking place tomorrow night, but right now, let's get into it because first overall, who's on the clock? It's the Raiders. They're taking Fernando Mendoza. No arguments there. Everyone agrees on that one. Then the Jets. They have a pick, David Bailey or Arvell Reese. Not sure I agree with it, but they're going to go with David Bailey, edge rusher out of Texas Tech. And the Cardinals, they're like, hip, hip, hooray. We get who a lot of people say is the best player in the draft at number 3 overall. Then, number 4 here, Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. He is so talented, a fantastic runner, great pass catcher, and can block. He is going to be perfect for Robert Saleh's team. Then, number 5 here, the Giants have 2 picks in the first 10 picks. And right here, Sonny Styles, the athletic freak linebacker, revamps Harbaugh's defense. Then, Carnell Tate to the Browns. They finally get some weapon help because Jerry Jeudy is just not it. Then, Washington, they need a lot of help, kind of in a lot of places, so they go with the best corner in this draft, Mansour Delane. Then, might be the most talented player, but his physicals are so poor that he falls all the way to number 8. We'll see how it plays out for the Saints. Then moving on here, it's the Chiefs at number 9. This one might be a reach, but they go with Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle. If you were to ask every GM who's got the most potential to be the best left tackle in this draft, a lot of them would probably say Freeling, so the Chiefs bet on that potential. Then the Giants, here, a lot of people say they traded up. Here comes a pick at receiver. No, because when a player like Caleb Downs falls to you at 10, John Harbaugh, he is not passing that up. Then the Dolphins, they're flipping around because they need help everywhere. And a lot of people say Maui Noah is the best tackle in the draft, and they're going to get him at pick 11. Then for the Cowboys, this is the player that might actually fall out of the first round due to injuries, but I don't think the Cowboys worry about that. They need help at corner. So they go Jermon McCoy. Now, number 13 here, the Rams, Jordan Tyson, who's gotten so much hype this past week. He falls to 13. The Rams can't pass him up. They ignore Mekhi Lemon. They go Jordan Tyson. Then the Ravens lost a lot of help especially on the offensive line during the offseason. So the best guard in the draft, it's Ione. He is going to go here at number 14. Then 15 here, Peter Woods, who a lot of people say Caden McDonald will be the first defensive tackle off the board. I think it's going to be Peter Woods. He's a great player. The Bucs need that help. Then the Jets, the pick they traded for, it's Omar Cooper Jr. is who they take because they need a guy who can be on the same talent level as Garrett Wilson, on the same type of guy that can draw help away from Garrett Wilson. Omar Cooper's the guy they go with. Now, next set of picks here, Spencer Fawn of the Lions say, yes. How did he fall here? They go here. Dylan Thieneman replaces Harrison Smith for the Vikings. They're really happy about that. The Panthers are saying, how did this athletic freak of a tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, fall to us? Bryce Young is doing flips in his room. Then the Cowboys can't ignore the big boy, Caden Proctor. I know there's questions about if he can play tackle. Is he going to be a guard? But Jerry Jones, with a guy like that is on the board, he's not going to pass him up. Then it's the Steelers. Makai Lemon is going to fall to them. A lot of people a month ago would have said he's the second receiver off the board. Tomorrow night, he's the fourth receiver off the board. Steelers get a great compliment for Metcalf and Pittman. Then Basantis, the Chargers guard play is so bad, they go Basantis. They need it there. Then the Eagles, a lot of people say they might go a Lane Johnson successor, but when you compare another guy from Toledo up with Quinyon Mitchell in the secondary, a guy like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is that type of player to go for. And then the Browns, they have a great draft. Caleb Lomu falls to them, the tackle out of Utah. They get Tate and Lomu in this draft, and they are real happy about that. Then our last set of picks here. Caden McDonald, the Bears, are really happy about this one. How did this big behemoth fall to us at number 25 is what they're saying, so he goes there. And then at number 26, the Bills need edge rusher help. They go with Ruben Bain's teammate, 25 years old, which is why he falls here, Akeem Mesidor. Then the 49ers need help at offensive tackle. They go Ian Ochor, and the Texans seem like they need help on the offensive line. They go Pregnon because they need that help every year. Then everyone's saying the Chiefs, they did it again. Casey Concepcion falls to them. And the next pick, another receiver, Denzel Boston, goes to Miami. Malik Willis gets some help. Then our two Super Bowl teams here, Kendrick Falk and Zion Young, two edge rushers to finish off this first round. And I think C.J. Allen and Blake Miller just miss out. That's all for me here in my NFL first round mock draft. Guys, what are we thinking here?
Oh, thank you, Casey. We're going to wait just a little bit for that because we'll see what happens after the break when our panelists think of Casey's parting gift, and we'll have some more whenever we get back.
The death of George Floyd, who died in police custody Monday night.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation. It's going to take more than just us, you know, as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change because it just can't be us.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Now that we're back and Jordan and Nick have had time to think over what we've seen, let's see how they feel about it. So, boys, what are our thoughts?
You want to go, Nick? You want to start off with
I'll
this?
go first. I don't think it's a bad mock draft. I don't think it's a great mock draft, though. The obvious picks of Fernando Mendoza at 1, David Bailey at 2, Arvell Reese at 3. Those are all obvious ones, but I don't know if I like Jeremiah Love going to the Titans. I don't think that they're going to take him. I think that he's going to fall to someone like Washington. I don't think that they want to take a running back that high. And I'm honestly myself not too high on Jeremiah Love. What do you think about Jeremiah Love?
I have good thoughts about him, but I just do not like him going to the Titans at 4. But I have heard a lot of smoke around him around that. So I do think that it's a probable thing.
You have to expect they want to make that splash.
You see, just like any mock draft, there's some hits, I think, some misses, I think. But getting more specific, Jordan, starting with you, which pick in this draft do you think has the most potential to have impact right away for their franchise?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with Jeremiah Love. If he goes into the Titans, even though I do not like the pick, he is going to be electric for that team. You have a young, talented.
Do you think
running
immediately?
Back. Yes, I think immediately. You have a young, talented running back coming in and going into that system, into a Brian Dable system. I think that he is going to be good. I think he is going to thrive there, and I think the Titans' offense overall is going to take a step up. They've done some investment into their offensive line over the last couple years, so I think that Jeremiah Love will have a very big impact day one for the Titans.
Yeah, 28-year-old Tony Pollard had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for that team. So who
but
knows?
I don't think Tony. We're talking like Tony Pollard's a bad running back here, though.
He's no Jeremiah Love.
He's mid.
Jeremiah Love has never even taken an NFL snap yet.
You can't tell me from watching the film he doesn't look like someone who has some real talent behind him.
We've said that about Genty, and I think that his rookie year was under-impressive.
Genty is a whole different situation. The Raiders had a way worse situation coming into last year than the Titans have coming into this year.
All right.
What do the Titans have?
Here, we'll continue this in a minute. But Nick, since you're in such a poor mood, such a negative Nancy over here, who do you think is the biggest reach so far in this mock draft?
I think Monroe Freeling to the Chiefs. I think that that's a very big reach because I don't even think that he's the best tackle in the draft. I think that Fenno is better, and I also don't think that the Chiefs are going to waste a high pick like this on a lineman. The Chiefs don't get to draft this high, and they won't get to draft high for a while because they are going to get back to their standard of competing for Super Bowls, for championships. And I think that they make a splash here and get a receiver like Jordan Tyson. I don't see Freeling going until the middle of the draft to about the Eagles or the Lions, and I don't think that he's going to go ahead of Fano or Magwoa. I think that both of those guys are better than him. I just think that there would be some very unhappy Chiefs fans if he was drafted at that point. I also think there's the possibility that the Chiefs could trade back from this pick. Maybe they don't see someone that they want to take right now, so they can get some draft capital later.
See, I agree. I don't think that he should be the first tackle off the board, but I also don't think that the Chiefs might take tackle. I know that they're struggling there, but edge is also a massive position.
I think tackle's in the back of their mind. They want to wait till later.
Yeah.
Edge definitely, but you got some of the best edges going off in the beginning of the draft. I have someone who I think that they could take that high, but I'm not going to reveal it just yet.
Okay.
Never underestimate a team, what they could pick, if they never expect to pick this high again. But Jordan, going back to you, in every draft there are reaches and steals. Who do you think has the best value pick in this mock draft?
Man, when I saw Spencer Fanu at 17 for the Lions, I think that is an amazing pick for them. Tackle is a big need for them now with the retirement of Taylor Decker. And to get probably what I think the best tackle in the draft at 17, I think that fills a massive hole for the Lions, and I think that can put them back into the contender spot that they have been for the past couple of years. You don't see a tackle like Fanu drop to you at 17, and there's a lot of talks about whether they're going to trade for someone or sign someone in free agency, but if they can stick and pick one of the best tackles in the draft, I think that's amazing value for the Lions.
I definitely think if I saw Fano going that low, I would think this is a steal. He has all the makings of a lockdown lineman. He ran a 4.91 at 300+ pounds. That's a big boy moving to get that speed. He has the makings of a freak Jordan.
All right. Don't just come on here and lie, bro.
My bad.
He's got all the makings of a freak athlete. I don't think that he's going to last that long. I think that if someone takes a tackle higher, he is the guy. If there was a big board that had all the tackles on it, he would be right in the center with a big circle around him and say, "Take me. Take me, take me, take me."
Oh.
No one else. No one else. He is my favorite tackle prospect in this draft.
All right, Nick, so we'll bring it back to you. I know you talked about it a little bit before. You gave us a little bit of a teaser. Who do you think's missing? Who did Casey leave off?
Oh, I think they left off Ty Simpson. I'm just messing with you.
Oh,
Cassius Howell,
I was worried.
the edge from Texas A&M. I really, really like Cassius Howell. He is getting a little bit of a bad rep right now because he has small arms, according to NFL metrics. But this is a guy that has elite explosiveness. He's described as a sack monster. Again, if we want to talk about an edge going to the Chiefs, he's a guy that maybe could be on the look there, but I see him going as high as Tampa and as low as Seattle. I think he would be a great addition to to Seattle's Super Bowl roster. I mean, I know that there's a lot of talk that he's going to go to day 2, second round, third round. If someone gets him in those days, that's a big, big steal. I just don't see how someone with that athleticism and the stats that he has playing at Texas A&M, I don't see how someone like that can be passed up multiple times.
You know, Nick, Howard's fine, but I agree with your original take, your joking one, Ty Simpson. I know we are not fans of him here, but in a quarterback needy, what quarterback needy teams in a one quarterback draft, I know you're a fan of Aller. Someone is going to trade up for this guy. Someone's going to come back in to the first round and get that 5th-year option. Ty Simpson will be a first-round pick, and teams are desperate. Look out for the Cardinals.
Jordan,
I think Ty Simpson is going to be
there's desperation, and then there's I'm hungry, and I have to go eat in an Arby's desperation. Oh. And what you just gave me is that desperation.
Yeah, there's just shudders my skin every time I hear that fast food company's name. But after the break, we'll debut a brand new segment here, so stay tuned.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Now, as a kid in the 2010s, I always watched ESPN after school, and one of my favorite shows was Around the Horn. Since then, I've always wanted to arbitrarily award points based off of obscure criteria that only I know, and now I can. Welcome to the final take. Here, I will give, take, or question, and our panelists will respond. Whoever I like gets some points, and whoever wins gets a grand prize. Is everyone here ready?
Oh, I'm beyond ready.
I'm ready.
All right, let's begin. After winning the league title in 2025, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds have established themselves as a great team. And my take, gentlemen, is that in 5 years, the Riverhounds will make Pittsburgh a true 4-sports city.
Well, Nick? I don't know if they can be a true 4-sports city like the NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL, just because there's not a deeply rooted history here with the Riverhounds. They're getting some nice stadium renovations, but there's no way that they can become a storied franchise like the Big Three: Pittsburgh, Pirates, Steelers, and Penguins.
All right, Jordan.
I cannot believe that we're talking about this again. No, they are not going to be a top 4 team, okay? When you have a top 4 team, you have a professional sports team in the biggest league in the country. The Riverhounds are not even in the MLS, so no, they're not going to be on the same level as the Steelers or the Pirates or the Pens. That's just not going to happen, no.
Taking my take.
Yeah.
My take must be that good.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree. Nick, I'm going to give you the win here on this one.
All right.
We're moving on to the next one. With the playoffs here, it is time for some hatred. And following some comments from the crowd at Madison Square Garden during a Knicks-Hawks playoff game, my question is this. Will any city hate an athlete as much as New York hates Trae Young? Jordan, why don't you start us off?
Yes. Do we all know Kevin Durant in OKC? As soon as he left, they chant cupcake at him every time when he's come back. He's not getting a statue. He's hated in the city. He left on bad terms. I think he's hated by every team that he's left. So no, I think it's KD with OKC.
Interesting. Nick, let's see how you feel.
Well, getting chanted cupcake would be the lowest level for mine when we take it over to Philadelphia's hate for Sidney Crosby, a man who literally owns their franchise, and there is no hatred deeper than that one. He has the most points ever scored against them, and there is just deep-rooted jealousy that fuels a fire of people who constantly said since 2005 how much they hate the star player of the Penguins.
See, I like both your guys' takes here. However, Sidney Crosby never screwed over the city. Kevin Durant did. Jordan, you take the win on this one. Now, sticking on the hardwood, the GOAT debate is one that will never end. Jordan, LeBron? Well, I want to vote third party. I believe by the time that he retires, Victor Wembanyama will be the greatest to ever do it. Nick, do you agree?
LeBron James, Michael Jordan, you think that Victor Wembanyama is going to be in that conversation? He's got strong defense, and he could be a better defender than them, but we're talking about greatness here. We're talking about 6 championships. We're talking about scoring records. I also think that injuries could hinder Wembanyama's career going forward. He's already had a few of them.
Jordan?
Listen, okay, he's already a top 5 player in the league already in his third year. He's the youngest defensive player of all time. He could win a ring this year if he comes back.
He's not winning a ring.
And be healthy, which is something that it took years for both LeBron and Jordan to do. So he has a lot of time, and he has the most potential
back
of
to me
any
when he
player
wins
I've ever
6.
seen.
Yeah, both you guys make great points. However,
he's not winning 7.
He could win 7.
Gentlemen,
this
calm
is a
down.
great Spurs
Calm
team.
down. Okay, hey, calm down. Jordan, you take the win for this one. Now coming up to number 4, moving from the triumphant to the personally very sad. There are down years, and then there is what the Milwaukee Bucks went through in 2026. Are they currently in the worst position in sports? Jordan, what are your thoughts?
No, I think that they're fine. They trade Giannis and they'll replenish. I think it's the Magic, and you might be like, whoa, wait, what, the Magic? They put in so many resources to this team for them to underperform. They don't have a superstar with PB, no J, and Paolo Banchero. He's not a superstar. They're in a very bad position. Mid. Just mid.
Interesting thoughts.
Oh man, I'm sick thinking about my a team that would be in a playoff spot, man. That's just a terrible situation. Why don't we move over to the soccer pitch with Tottenham, who is a big money club that is thinking of getting moved to the 2nd tier of English football. They're in a relegation spot right now. They could be playing in Stoke next year. Come on. There's no team that is deemed a professional English team that should be playing in the 2nd tier.
Personally, I'm glad neither of you guys agreed with me that the Bucks are in the worst spot. But really, the Magic? I just don't believe it. Nick, you take the win on this one. So it comes down to a do-or-die take 5. Now, finally, hitting the ice. The vibe meter has never been higher in Buffalo. The team looked dead in December, but something clicked when they fired GM Kevin Adams, and they've been the definition of a wagon ever since. After snapping North America's longest playoff drought, the team came back from the dead in Game 1 versus Boston to symbolize the resurrection of an entire city. For my final take for you all is that the Sabres' midseason turnaround is the best feel-good sports story of the 2020s so far. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Well, it took about 4 months for everyone to forget about Fernando Mendoza and the Hoosiers, I guess. I mean, it's nice that Buffalo finally got back to the playoffs. Yay, they got to the playoffs. Indiana got to the playoffs and won a national championship, went undefeated. They have never, ever had that success before. This is a team that nobody sees in contention, and they won a national championship, and they have a Heisman quarterback.
Listen, little Nick Evans, okay? The last time that the Sabres were in the playoffs, you probably were not even born. 14 years ago, okay?
I was born.
14 years. They have been, they went on a 39-9-5 run since December. That is insane. 50 wins for the 3rd time in franchise history. 18 consecutive sellouts to end of season. That is a turnaround if I ever heard it. That
Name
is
one Sabres player.
right there. That is magical.
Name a Sabres player.
That's magical.
All right, gentlemen. Both of you guys make very intriguing points here, so it comes down to this. Buffalo hasn't won a ring yet. Indiana has. So, Nick Evans, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You win the matchup today.
Buffalo's not even winning the first round.
The playoffs aren't over. You don't know they're not
It's
going to win.
over for Buffalo.
Is it over for Buffalo? All right, so.
It's over for Jordan.
So, Nick, you won the show. You want it ready for your grand prize?
I'm so ready. Let's see it.
You get a crisp fist bump from the host.
You don't even deserve that.
Yeah,
you know what? You wish you had a fist bump.
Yeah,
you don't even get a high five. You don't even get a low five. You don't even get a low five.
All right, guys. Let's talk about this later. Thank you guys
sad.
so much for an excellent year of sports talk in the Burgh. We'll see you once again this August. I'm Caden with Nick and Jordan. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.